Good evening, everybody. Good evening on Facebook and on Twitter, wherever you're watching, say hi. If you are watching me live, say hello. I'm watching live and here's where I'm watching from. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay and tell me where you're watching from. It's good to know where people are watching my videos from. I hope you've had a really brilliant day today. I've had an extremely busy day. It's been an extremely busy couple of days, which is always good. Pre-warning, this is like the demonstration when you're on a flight. The dog is in the room with me, so there will be scrappling around on the floor, grunting, etc. That's not me. It's the dog. He's my usual Tuesday night buddy. He lives in the studio with me most of the time. So most of you that have watched me before know he's here. He's an important part of the family. Anyway, it's lovely to have you here. I hope you're all doing well in these uncertain times. And tonight I am bringing for you a training on how to really nail down your customer, knowing them really, really well. Because let me tell you this, I know this for sure, that when you know your customer intimately, really well, it becomes so much easier to get your messaging right and to be able to speak directly to them and for them to know that you are for them and for you to know that they are for you. So this is part of the early business building stages or the review process. If you're changing direction in your business, it's vital. Last week, I talked to you about nailing your niche. And if you want some more training on that, there's a link either up or to the side, and you can get your hands on a free nailing your niche training once you sign up into my email list. So, but tonight, and obviously last week when I talked about nailing your niche, I talked about how important it was for you to be really niche. The more niche, the better. And I think I used a couple of examples. It's really weird, isn't it, when you come off a call or you come out of a training and you think, oh, damn, I wish I'd said that. And I'd used the example when you're talking about niche, that if you made pet collars for dogs, it was no use having loads of cat lovers on your, or non-dog owners on your network. But I would even suggest that you'd go even nicher than that and say that you made dog collars for Labradors. And then you're beginning to really get into the realms of, you've got a really, really specific audience. If you made dog collars only for Labradors, other pet owners and dog owners would come to you and say, do you do them for my dog? But once you get that niche, it becomes easier to speak to your clients. So tonight is about really getting to know who your customer is. And it's a two-step process. And this takes a lot of work. And believe me, the ladies on my signature program, they have the training, it's in the program. We talk about this all of the time, and it can still take 3 to 4 attempts to get their niche right and to get their ideal customer right. Because you've got to be really intimate with your business and your niche in order to get your customer right. So knowing who your customer, your ideal customer is, your ideal client is, call it what you want, is a real deal breaker. It can change everything. So I've got 2 pieces of paper for you here tonight. If you want them, as usual, send me a direct message and I will send them to you. That is not a problem. And I want to do this with 2-pronged attack. So there's a lot of text on here. So one is a lot of text. I'm going to do that first. And one is a picture of your ideal client that we are going to talk through and work up. So it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter whether you sell iPhones, whether you sell bottled water containers, whether you sell coaching or a service or a painting, doesn't matter what you sell. It's really important to understand who's going to buy that from you and what their buying decision-making process is. Who are they? What do they feel like? And how are you going to come along and solve the problem that they currently have? So the first step in doing that is to create an archetype. Who is this? Who's your first draft of your ideal client? Now, I have created archetype 1 and archetype 2. Archetype 1 is who your ideal client is right now in their need for your service or product. Archetype 2 is who they are going to become when they buy your service or product. So that's why we work with archetypes. You might have heard of ideal client archetypes, ICAs. That's what it is. And it's really important. So what I'm going to do for you tonight is I'm going to read out my initial draft of my archetypes. And then we're going to take that even deeper. It's like the niche. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you'll understand why. So Miss Creative Chaos is my archetype 1. So this is Miss Creative Chaos right now. And she is female. Now, on my initial draft, I've said she's between 28 and 55. It's a broad spectrum. Now, you can't be that. We're going to nail that down further in the next step. And she could be married or single. She lives with creative confusion, definitely. And she'll compensate by buying lots of nice things for instant gratification. And she does it for inspiration because she feels blocked herself. She was once really creative in her thinking and her abilities. However, life, uninspiring jobs, children, trauma, or divorce have blurred her thoughts and her ability to take action. This brain fog impacts in all areas of her life and limits her ability to come up with positive, forward-facing solutions. It is like she's held in space and time, unable to do what she's capable of. She copies others rather than coming up with her own ideas, not because she's unable, because she no longer feels like she's good enough or worthy. These negative feelings transfer into other areas and leave her describing herself in a negative way, when in actual fact, she's just in creative chaos. She wants to find her way out, but she feels trapped. Despite not feeling good enough, she knows deep down that she once had these skills and talents, but she needs help to rediscover them. She may currently be, or once was, really successful in her career, her other job, but may feel like it's too linear and structured, so she feels that there's something missing. She's a frustrated creative. And if she's considering launching a creative business, she's comparing herself to others rather than being her true self. It feels like there's only 3 sides to a perfect square, and what's missing is her self-expression. She knows that if she could just find the time and motivation, that she would open up a new world of ideas and talents. She's ready for help, but is paralyzed by limiting beliefs. She actually needs help so that she can think differently. That's Miss Creative Chaos. So archetype 1 is describing where your client is now, where you think your perfect customer or your perfect client is now. And it's the same, even if you're selling a painting, you can be describing how your client feels about art and how they would love to own an original piece of art, but understand it's an investment. What's holding them back is the money. Or you can describe all of those things in archetype 1. And in archetype 2, you're describing how they feel after they've bought from you, they've decided to work with you, and they have made the change, the decision, the buying decision. So my archetype 2 is called Miss Creative Power. And this lady knows what good looks like. And she has the ability to communicate it in many different ways to multiple levels of society. She's a trailblazer and can generate outlandish and often game-changing ideas for powerful visual impact in her field. She stands out from the crowd, is proud of it, and never afraid to be different. This lady knows what power she has in her creativity and that she can transfer it to any area of her life with ease and flair to create success anywhere in her life. She's a leader, an ideas person, charismatic, and people are drawn to her uniqueness. So that is Miss Creative Chaos after she's worked with me. Okay, that's my archetypes that I based my business on. And then the next step is to take it further, because I don't know her well enough at this stage. I just know roughly how she's feeling. I'm able to describe how she's feeling. I'm able to describe how she wants to feel and will feel after working with me. So then you go on to this. Now, my clients will laugh here if any of them are watching that have done this with me, because normally I draw a stick figure and I actually question them within an inch of their lives until they truly begin to understand this ideal client. So on this page, I have your buyer. Now, it can be male or female. It can be both. You can print off 2 pages and you can cross out the button. It's fairly generic picture. But what I go is a level further than this. This is important. So I want you to name your ideal client. I want you to give her or him a name. And I want you to pick an age, one age. So she can't be between 28 and 55. She needs to be an age, so she can be 48. But she can't be between 40. She's got to be one age, or he has got to be one age. You need to identify marital status. Is she married? Is she single? Is she divorced? What is she or he? I'm just going to use the word she because it's easier than keep chopping and changing. If she is married, what is the name of her spouse and what age is he? Do they have any children? And what are the names and the ages of their children? You are creating a really detailed ideal customer here. Then I want you to go on and describe what type of home they live in. Is it a detached home? Is it semi-detached? Is it a council house? Is it a mansion? Where do they live? Where does your ideal client live exactly? Where is it located? Is it near the sea? Is it in the country? Is it in the town? What's the decor like in their home? What sort of decor do they have? Are they eclectic? Are they minimal? Are they antiques and old-fashioned? What sort of decor do they have in their house? You need to know this. What sort of holidays do they go on? Do they holiday in the UK or in Scotland or Wales, or do they go abroad? And if they go abroad, is it Spain or is it the Maldives? There's a difference. And this is building up a real picture of this person or persons. What sort of car or cars do they drive? And there is a difference here between driving a clapped out old Suzuki Swift like I used to have 11 years ago to driving a BMW. And what sort of hobbies does this person have? What things do they do in their leisure time? What sort of books and magazines do they read? This is how detailed I'm going to push you to go, to really push yourself past the boundaries of thinking you know your client. So what does their spouse, if they are married, what do they do for a job or business? And what does your ideal client do for a job or business? You need to know what they do, because that will start to indicate disposable income. What money mindset do they have? So have they got disposable income? Have they got spare cash? Do they have savings and investments? Or are they living on the breadline? Important. What are their shopping habits? Where do they do their food shop? Is it Lidl or Waitrose? Where do they shop for clothing? Is it Primark or is it Marks and Spencer? There's a difference. What are the self-care habits? So if your lady is a female, does she have her nails done? Lashes and brows, hair, how often? What are the self-care massages? What are the self-care and health habits? What are the self-investment habits? Are they used to investing in themselves? And if so, what sort of investments do they make in themselves? And then finally, what are their real pain points? What are the key words that would describe the pain points of your ideal client? Is it frustration? Is it feeling less than, not worthy? Is it wanting more, wanting to upgrade, keep up with the Joneses? What are the pain points of this person? And only when you've got that much detail can you start to understand their buying habits. So let me give you some examples. If you've got, say, I'm going to use an artist because I'm an artist. If you're an artist and you are producing pieces of art that cost £1,000, an original piece of art that costs £1,000, there's a buying decision with that. And it's the same if you're producing courses or programs or anything that's a high ticket item. So let's just use a generic thing here, high ticket item. There's a decision process in purchasing that. There's a decision that's based on all of those things. If they are not used to self-investment and self-care, it's going to feel really difficult and really fearful for this person to make a decision on purchasing a high ticket item from you. And there's a lag period. There's a period of lag for them seeing it and wanting it. So for instance, say somebody really wanted that painting behind me and my price tag was £1,000, and they've watched me paint it and they've loved it and they've watched it to the end and they really, really want it. But £1,000 is a huge decision for them. So they really want it. So they're going to watch me and follow me and see what happens with the painting and watch it go onto the website and maybe send me a message and say they're interested. Maybe, but there'll be a lag period from that, from decision making, from liking something to going through the process of buying, because they may have to go away and have a look at what sort of things they can do without or give up in order to own it. They may be looking around the house at the decor and seeing where that particular painting would fit into their home, how it would make them feel. And then if I pop up and post some posts that talk about that painting, its origins, the things behind it, how it could potentially make you feel if it was displayed in your home, I am then speaking directly to that client, that particular person who's thinking and having the decision-making process right now. That's what difference it makes. If you are selling a lower ticket product, so let's say, it is, people think it's easier if you've got a £10 product. It's not, because you're going for volume and you've got to find lots of these people. So it's really important then to identify, when you have all this information and you know them in detail and you know the type of person that's going to be buying your £10 product, you need to know where they hang out in volume and then go into that space and speak directly to them. But you are still speaking directly to one person. It's so important. I can't stress how important it is to know this person so well. It's a real deal breaker in your business. And when you can speak to them directly through your marketing message on all of the social media platforms and through your website and through blogs and communications that you make on a daily and weekly basis, they are getting to know you and getting to like you, and they feel like you are speaking directly to them. So let's take this one, for example, if Barbara, who has her own business that's doing quite well and is married to Bob with 2 children that have grown up and left home, who has probably £1,000 a month of disposable income, likes their holidays abroad, drives decent cars, pain points are that they really want to increase their status. They are feeling like they want to upgrade the decor in their home, and they are looking for an original piece of art for which they can then use as an interior design piece to decorate a room. And I show up saying, hey, watch me painting this piece in these colors, watch the process, watch it to the end, and then here's what it's going to make you feel like afterwards. I am speaking directly to Barbara and Bob with their house that they need the painting for. And it's more likely then that they're going to start to make that buying process, that buying decision, because I've got what they want and I'm telling them about it. That's why you need to do the work on your ideal client. So let's recap at the end of this. First of all, you're going to brainstorm your archetypes and get a couple of paragraphs that are almost like a rough draft of archetype 1. what they feel like before they own your product or service or purchase your product or service. And archetype 2 is what it's going to feel like, what they look like and feel like after. So before and after, archetype 1 and 2. And then you're going to nail down every detail. You're going to stalk. You're going to become a stalker, and you're going to nail down every single detail of their life. This will help you to find them. You can then look for groups where this particular person hangs out. You can look for business pages, spaces where this person is likely to be on social media. Are they more likely to be on LinkedIn than Facebook? Are they likely to be on Twitter? Are they likely to be on Instagram? They'll have a particular platform that they like. You can nail all of that down in the second step, and then you are ready to start speaking directly to them, which is about improving your messaging. So I hope that's helped you a little bit tonight. If you do want both of these, then just send me a direct message and I will send them back to you. That is no problem at all. And join me again, the same time, same place, next week for another training that's going to help you a little tiny bit in your business. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Very grateful for you. And if you think this is useful, please tag your friends and share this video. You might well help somebody else who's really struggling with this right now, and this could help them. So share the video, tag them, get them to see it, whatever way. See you all next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.